time,
Like,
energy,
I just work.
and money.
I'm doing labor. I'm doing marketing. I'm doing consulting. And I'm like, I'm not even questioning it. I'm just doing it because that's what I think entrepreneurship is, which in reality, in the beginning, that's what it is.
You give off that confidence when you walk into the room, especially if you dial yourself in too, right?
Yes.
I don't care what anybody says, man. People judge you the minute you walk in.
But I think the whole purpose of why we did a Culture Night Market was simple. It was to help existing entrepreneurs, micro entrepreneurs, to have a legitimate platform to get an opportunity to make money.
It's Mauricio Mejia live on YouTube.
It's Mauricio Mejia live here inside of Studio B in the heart of Silicon Valley. That's right, downtown San Jose in the SoFa district. And guess what, guys? Today I get to bring on a special guest, someone that we've actually been talking for some time now, and got a lot of admiration and a lot of respect for this person because of, one, his entrepreneurship spirit and his drive to bring vibrancy back to the Silicon Valley, specifically San Jose. So with all due respect, we got to welcome our boy, Brandon Quintanilla, a.k.a. BQ, bro.
Yes, sir.
What's happening, my brother? How are you?
That was a great intro, man. That was great. I feel
Hey,
honored.
right off the top of my head, bro, off the top of the dome is pretty good. No.
That was pretty good. That was
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, man. Hey, one, thank you for making the time.
For sure.
Want you to know that this wasn't a last minute thing. I'm just going through how in programming, what is it that we want to do and who do we want to showcase and what's coming up? So what I want to try to do right now is I want to try to catch everybody that's going to be producing events this year, 2025, because it's a big year.
Yes.
We just got we just passed the NBA All-Stars with it. It's been here in the Bay Area. I don't remember. 2000 was the last time that was here. So 25 years ago, the NBA All-Star was here in the Bay Area. And we just got to experience that this past weekend. And it was off the charts.
Epic.
They had events starting from Monday to Sunday. And Monday was a holiday. So imagine, all the after parties. But we got to get prepared. I mean, the season is right around the corner, and 2025 looks to be very promising. Hopefully, right? We're always very optimistic, and we want to know. We're always thinking that it's going to be our year. It's going to be our year, but it's just what we need to do.
Yep.
You got a couple of brands here in the Silicon Valley. You got Emlin, which is early mornings, late nights.
Yep.
For those of you that, and we're going to go into what the inspiration behind that. And I call it the world famous, in your brand, it's Culture Night Market, man.
Yep.
Something where you started pioneer during
during COVID.
During COVID, that's right.
Pandemic.
So let's go into that, man. Let's dive right into that because you got a lot of stuff to share. First and foremost, got to get your background, brother. Family, born and raised. I want people to get to know who you are before we dive into all the fun stuff.
Ooh, we in podcast mode. Officially, this is real. It feels good.
It's the real deal now.
Well, first, I want to say thank you so much for bringing me on the podcast. I'm honored. I've been supportive of all your projects.
Thank you.
I've heard a lot about you in my journey. We have a lot of mutual friends, people that I grew up with that, the first person that told me about you was Andre Morrow.
Okay.
So his family are like second family to me.
Because man, I love Andre. Yeah.
All his kids, we played football together.
Got it.
So I used to sleep over their house all the time. And then one day we had like a little reunion. It was like his wife's birthday. And my brother is the one that's like best friends with his son. I just grew up with his younger brother. So that's how I was like connected with him. But he was like, one time we were just having a dinner and everything. He's like, he saw my videos on Facebook. He's like, you know who you remind me of? You remind me of someone I know. You know this guy? And he pulls up your Facebook. And I was like, I've seen him before, but I don't know him. And that's what kind of like led to Clayton eventually introducing me to you. And then we got connected. So it's funny how we're here now, though.
I love Andre. I met him when I was at San Jose State.
Yep.
He was, I don't know if he was the executive director for the gym, but he was running.
Yeah, he was like a trainer, I believe, or something like that.
Well, he was running it because, and I remember it was him and I just clicked. And that's how, and we're talking 1997, 96.
Yeah. He's tough. He was a tough OG.
So great person. Yeah, we're still online. I see him on Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, man. So let's go into it.
I just had to say that was a sidebar.
No, we're good.
So let's see. So my name is Brandon Quintanilla. Everyone calls me BQ for short. That's been my nickname since high school. I played football. My coaches would be like, "Keep BQ, get in the field, like BQ." So that just stuck forever. And my background, my family's, I'm a first generation American. My family's from Nicaragua. Both of them are born and raised in Nicaragua.
My neighbors, El Salvador, bro. We're neighbors.
Exactly. That's why we be going. I'm like, oh, San Salvador, that's not too far. And my family, they migrated to the States like when they were early adult years, escaping, the dictatorship and the Civil War at the time. And then they claimed legal asylum, so they're legal immigrants in America. And eventually, my dad went to Miami for the first 2 weeks, and then he moved to San Jose, and he's been in San Jose since. And my dad used to work at Shakey's Pizza. He worked at Burger King. He worked at the Iron Mountain delivering truck driving, and then now he went back to school, and then now he's a head of IT at LexisNexis.
Damn.
So my guy,
like that.
Yeah, he went from working ground level.
LexisNexis is a big.
They're
that's
one of the
important.
sponsors for the South Center. Yeah,
nice.
They're legit. So that's where my work ethic comes from. Is my dad. So like that's my dad's side. My dad's from Managua, which is like the capital of Nicaragua, and then my mom is from Granada, which is like a small pueblo. So both the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And
any siblings?
So I'm the youngest.
Okay.
My brother is 10 years older than me, Eddie, and then my sister Vielka, she's about 7 years older. So I've always been the youngest one. I was the unexpected one that just kind of happened out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was born in East San Jose. I was raised my entire life in South San Jose. Played football a lot, a whole chapter of my life all the way till college. Had an injury that basically destroyed my motivation and dreams of trying to be in the NFL, just like every young kid trying to play sports at high school. And then eventually I got into sales. I worked at a third-party provider for Sprint, which is California Wireless Solutions. Shout out to my guy Zaid, who was the owner at the time. And I started an entry-level job at 18 years old, and I worked, I would say, like 7 years working in that same company. And I worked my way up to management. And then throughout the course of that 7 years, I was one of their highest performing salespeople and taking advantage of sales competitions, selling the most HTC, highest activations. And eventually I got promoted to management at a really young age. I was managing people older than me at like 21. You can imagine like, the psychology, like somebody that's younger than me trying to manage other people. And then transitioning from wireless industry to the software sales industry, I did that right before COVID. I would say 2018, 2019.
Do you think that that somewhere along the line it was something was driving you, right? Obviously, you said work ethic. You were exposed to strong work ethic at a young age. So sales, definitely, I could see that talent being used in that field. Entrepreneurship. You're an entrepreneur, man. Yeah. You're running your own stuff now, and I know you've shared that story with me when you decided to jump off the cliff and become a full-time entrepreneur. Yeah,
it was definitely a tough decision at first, but I think what really stemmed it, like before I did all the wireless sales, my aunt used to sell at the flea market at Capitol. So she used to have me work with her 5 a.m. until 5 p.m., make like $30-$40, like barely anything. But I was basically setting up
child labor.
Yeah, child labor. But it was pretty common back in those days.
Yeah.
15 to 18, then I did that. But
kept you off the streets.
Yeah. What really kept me off the streets, to be completely honest, was sports. Like, I think the mindset of sports, right? Dedication, having to separate yourself from the masses. Like, what are you doing to separate yourself from the everyday person that's doing what you're doing? And at that time, I was waking up at 5 a.m, training, studying film and like taking those extra steps before practice, because everyone's practicing, but not everyone's training before practice and doing stuff after. So I think those fundamentals I learned at a young age, I just translated them into business. And then eventually I just started applying that same work ethic business-wise. But yeah, just to connect back, just to kind of give you full circle of the background, once I had my tenure at Wireless, my mentor, Timmy Noea, the one I introduced you to at the time, he was like, BQ, man, like you need to stop playing around and you need to stop selling these $1,000 phones and start selling $1 million softwares. He's like, because you have the ability to sell and you could probably make what you're making right now in a fraction of the time.
That's right.
So I was stubborn and I didn't listen to him at first.
Of course.
And I was just like, we
know
it
all. We all know it all at a young age. I
was trying to stick to my ways. And then eventually I met, because at the same time as I'm doing Sprint and working full time, I'm also creating Emlin. Like, this is something I'm doing on the side. When I met with Timmy, he wanted me to help him with his business, and he was teaching me how to do outreach cold, like as if I was working in software sales.
Yeah.
But I was doing it as like trying to help him.
Right.
And then but little did I know he was actually teaching me what the job consisted of. So then as COVID happened, right before COVID, he was telling me, I can get you a reference into this job, but it requires you to be at the top of your game. So I studied and did all the language learning of software sales, because it's different selling B2C versus B2B, right? You're selling to a family at the mall, like, hey kids, we want to get you a phone, versus you're selling to a decision maker who handles $1 million budgets. Like, how exactly are they going to invest their money?
Multi-million-dollar budgets.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like going from that to that was a challenge at first. And there was a little imposter syndrome because there's not a large percentage of Latino and Black people in tech spaces at the time. Like, it was really not a lot of that. So I felt like I was one of the few to kind of like experience it. And then eventually I was able to get the job. And then that's when everything kind of shifted, because that's when I learned like how to close deals, but like real deals.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
let me ask you, you didn't, right after high school, and I'm assuming you graduated, right?
Yeah,
Fucking
De Anza.
stereotype already.
Yeah.
So,
no, I did drop out. I ain't gonna lie.
So did you go to college or any kind of...
I went to De Anza.
Okay.
So
junior college?
After high school, I went to De Anza for 2.5 years. And that's where I was playing football. And I was also working at Sprint at the same time.
Got you.
And the CEO at the time, he had this rule where he's like, I don't hire part-timers. I only hire full-timers. I only want people that want to make money.
Right.
So when I was going to stop working to play football, I told Zayd, I was like, hey, man, I can't work here anymore, unfortunately, because you said you can't accept part-timers because my schedule is not going to allow it. And he's like, oh, no, champ, we'll make it work. Like, because, he liked me and he wanted to continue to work with me. So I think having someone like that in my life early was one of the biggest factors, to go back to your question. Like, this is the biggest factor of why I started entrepreneurship, because I started getting to see him, shadowing him, how he conducted himself with teams and trainings, and how he managed 32 locations and made sure they hit quota and goal. And this is like, it's a third-party franchise.
Yeah.
And I just got to share this bit because it factors in why his work ethic was so insane.
Right.
There is about 1,200 franchise dealers at the time that have the license to sell Sprint. And I would say about like 40% of them I've been in California. He was top 3 with 32 locations. Some entities had like 1,000 stores.
Oh, wow.
So you think about that. He had 32 kiosks in malls, and these other people had 1,000. And the biggest...
Savage.
He was just a savage.
Yeah.
But what I recognize about his work ethic is that he did not act like he was bigger than everyone else. He was literally like going to the mall, going to the kiosks, and he would greet people, shake their hands. Hey, how you doing, miss? What kind of phone do you have? Oh, do you mind? Can I get a couple minutes of your time? Can I introduce you to Brandon? Hey, Brandon, this is Jessica. And then he just did he had this aura where he just was unafraid.
Yeah.
He was relentless, and he was like it was just super hyper focused.
Yeah.
And so when I seen him move like that, and then it wasn't even just that. There was also other elements, like he had this presence where as soon as he walked in the room, everyone was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, no, he
he commands the room.
Commands presence, man, and it happens when you have leadership skills, and you know how to conduct yourself. You give off that confidence when you walk into the room, especially if you dial yourself in too. Right?
Yes.
I don't care what anybody says, man. People judge you the minute you walk in.
Yeah, that's why my mom always says first impressions.
Always. And if you walk in and you know how to conduct, speak, and move through the room, people will know, oh, okay, this guy's something, right? Until you start talking and then you start flushing the bullshit out or the real, you know, so.
It kind of reminds me of the Goodfellas thing where he's like, is it better to be loved or is it better to be respected or to be feared? Oof. And I kind of had a little bit of that when I seen him, because seeing everyone being afraid of him made me afraid of him because I was worried that I was gonna get fired or get written up, because at the time, that was my first job. I didn't know any better. But I realized a lot of people were afraid of him because he held everyone to a standard of being the best version of themselves.
That's right.
And when people are forced to be something beyond what they're comfortable, then that's when they get really tested. And like some people don't like that. And I think
that's why they use fear, right? They use fear as their scapegoat.
Yeah, it's their tactic. Yeah,
instead of just facing it, right? Like fear, false evidence appearing real, right? So you're feeling this falseness of something that's not there that your mind is creating, and then you give this person this power, right? Instead, it's like I always tell people, I'm the first guy that'll walk through the fire. Yeah. I gotta head the problem head on. Why? Because the more that you avoid the situation or the person or the thing or the whatever it may be, one, the bigger it becomes, and in your head it even becomes even bigger because you go down a rabbit hole, right? You start thinking of shit that you just gotta head on.
I agree.
Head on and deal with it. And accountability, that's probably one of the biggest things that people have a hard time at. And trust me, even at the level that I'm playing, the people that surround, when they hold me accountable, it hurts. And it hurts because it's only sharpening me, right? So it's like sharpening.
Iron sharpens iron.
That's right. That's right. So
so I share that because I feel like it was a movie. I reflect on my life. I think about, because after all the the bullshit of trying to get to know a person and trying to show your worth as being an entry level position, he exposed me to a lot of money. Like he exposed me to those trips. He was like, hey, whoever hits top 5, we get a paid trip to Miami.
Nice.
We get a paid trip to Vegas.
I love Miami.
So I started experiencing holy shit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so much of just going to turn up and get bottle service. Right. It was about the fact that he was able to reward people that worked their ass off and made them have an experience of a lifetime and motivates them to want to make more money when they come back. And he had the ability to do that because not only did he work hard, he also played hard too.
Right.
And, my thing is as a student of the game, because I feel like I'm forever learning, there's bits and pieces I can learn from everyone, right? Because there was things about his qualities that I admired, but there was also certain qualities that I wouldn't take away for me personally.
Right.
And that's just my philosophy of life. And that's why I have multiple mentors. I have multiple people, including yourself, that I go to for advice and just get input. Because at the end of the day, I cultivate my own version of what entrepreneurship could look, feel, and smell. And well, maybe not smell or taste, but you get my point.
Yeah, no. I mean, it comes in mentorship comes in so many ways, and it's such I learned that at a young age when I got into real estate. Actually not even real estate, into the nightlife scene. The only way, well, not the only way, but the way that I would exponentially grow and get to where I want to be at quick. I wanted to be an owner. I knew that I didn't want to be a promoter forever. I wanted to be an owner. I wanted to be an owner operator. I had to get next to another owner operator, and I had to download everything that he knows. I needed to know. So I from promoter, from hitting the streets with flyers. I got into the office and I started learning the paperwork, the accounting, the permits,
everything,
the politics, everything A to Z. And then I realized that once I've gotten the practice dialed in, I keep practicing, and then I start to master it. And that's why for a very long period of time I was dominating the nightlife scene here in San Jose. And then at the same time, I also diversified. I didn't put all my eggs in one basket, right? So I what else did I want to get into? I got into real estate, and then by real estate, and this is when it was confirmed to me. One of the top producers of the company, he says, "You know how you're going to be successful quick in this game?" He goes, "Getting a mentor." And I said, "Okay." And he says, "So you're going to be my mentee, and I'm going to be your mentor, and I'm going to get X amount from your deals." Because you got to pay, right? Nothing is for free. But because you knew that I could sell too, bro. I got a mouthpiece on me, bro. So that year, we sold over 360 properties in 1 year. I mean, that we were closing literally a deal a day. Literally a deal a day.
Wow.
And those commissions back then, I mean, you're talking about $10, $15, $20, $30,000 on some of them. We double in them because we knew how to play the game. But the reason why it gave me that confidence and that growth spurt because I got surrounded with a good mentor, and that's important.
I think the cool thing about mentorship, well, not even the cool thing, I think it's just an important fact. When I was looking for a mentor, I would go out of my way to find who they are, and try to how you say. Because the thing is, a lot of people say get a mentor, find a mentor, but some people don't know how to do that. Like sometimes they are scared to talk to someone they don't know. But I feel like the best way to do it is just come at it so honest. Like, hey, I'm a big fan of your work. I've been following what you've been doing. Yeah. I'm currently new in the industry. I would love for an opportunity to maybe pick your brain on a call, maybe get some lunch, and then that's where it starts. Yeah, that's it.
And that's how it started even with us.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
once. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. And not a lot of people have that version of confidence, right? I mean, I always tell people, and part of because I've dealt with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Part of the introduction when they meet, they want to do something with me. The first thing I do is, well, here's my books. Read my books. And if you still want to do business with me after you read my books, then we're good. Why? Because then it shows a level of commitment. It shows that they really they're serious about it, right? Because I'll tell you, I mean, some people read my book and they're like, dude, I'd rather keep you as a friend or keep you at a distance.
They're not ready for what's to come.
They're not ready for that life. Because everybody talks about it, right? Everybody says that they want to be an entrepreneur. They want to be the CEO. They want to be the decision maker. They want to own their own business. But once you jump off the cliff and you go in there, and you've had that firsthand experience, man. I mean, you when you did that, and I remember it was the way you shared the story. I mean, obviously coronavirus or COVID was 2019, 2020.
Yeah, crazy times.
2020 full blown, pandemic kicks off. And the world, some people start. I mean, I started a business in COVID.
Yeah, same.
And
crazy.
It's one of the things that I've also learned, and you hear this, it sounds like a cliche, but some of the best companies or some of the best things have developed when you're on a down market or something that's tragic is happening, because what it does is it allows us to focus. And I think that sometimes by dumb luck I mean, shit, we were supposed to go public with Latin Life, my media company, in 2020, and that $1 billion dream blew up. Got to keep going, man. Got to keep going.
That's part of the game, like. That's the part that is the part right there. What you just said right there. That is the part where people are made and are broken. Like, is the part when they actually get punched in the face, right? Like
Mike Tyson says it best. Everyone thinks everything is fun until you get punched in the face, and then you're like, oh shit.
I don't know, man. I have so much to say. I have so much to say about like all that. But
let's dive in. Give us. I mean, hey, Culture Night Market started in COVID 2020.
So COVID-19 2000. So I would say March. What was it? February. I had just got fired from my software sales job.
Oh shit!
So COVID didn't even fire me. It was fucking just regular work shit. Fucking got fired, bro. So
why'd you get fired?
Well, because it was software sales. Turnover is pretty serious. And how it worked is that we worked for an outsource agency, so we managed multiple different tech clients. Yeah. And some people were fortunate enough to get some easy type of clients, and some of them had some really complex shit. Yeah. Which for me, I was selling complex shit. Yeah. Because I was selling IoT solutions. Who the fuck sells IoT solutions? But anyways, the point was
that's the Internet of Things, right? Is
that
what
Internet of Things. So it's like technology, basically AI and stuff. You know, and I'm reaching out to like Macy's and big retailers. It was really hard. I still performed well in comparison to other people that managed that client, but just in general, it was a tough gig. But I got fired, and that was a month before COVID. Yeah. So I had just signed.
You didn't get fired, bro. Your time expired.
My time expired.
Your time expired.
I fired my job. Yeah. That's what happened. And then I had just signed the lease to my office, like right around the same time, and I split it with 3 people, and it's a little ass room. So I'm over here like. I'm tripping low key. I'm like, damn, I lost my job. Okay, whatever. We'll figure it out. Then COVID happens. Boom. and everything shuts down, and then everything gets all crazy, and people get all sad. The regular shutdown happens. You know, I'm honestly happy about it. I'm like, damn, I can low key just fucking work out and get my life together.
Yeah.
At first, it felt like beneficial, and then
Right.
as time progressed, you were like, damn, this is getting kind of like
it gets redundant, and it got old, and it was like, fuck, what else can I do? I can only work out so many times a day. I can only.
What I remember vividly the most during COVID was me applying for 100+ software sales jobs. And when I say 100+, I mean like different companies, and some companies that actually moved me to the furthest round. So I was doing like 5-round interviews with one company, and then at the end, not even getting the job. So I was doing all this plus exercising and learning WordPress, learning how to make websites. Like I'm just trying to find a skill at this point to sell remotely. Because this is when remote working started getting introduced. Yeah. So I started thinking about ways to make money. So for a whole year, I didn't even have a job. So I was just flipping, you know, whatever I could at the time. And, you know, we got our little, what is it? What do they call them again? Stimulus check or whatever. That kept it going.
I was like, what was it like?
PPP loans.
Yeah.
I was never one of those people, but I know a lot of people that utilize that.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then they actually started, I would say I started doing Culture Night Market like April 2020. That was the first one. No, October, because it was shutdown lasted that long. And then October was the first one. The event was so successful, meaning like a lot of people came in attendance and supported it. And then the arrangement was, because since everyone worked remotely, a lot of people were forced to not come downtown anymore. So the people that were renting the spaces were losing money. Yeah. And Sunny, the owner of the property, she was like, I'm struggling right now because I have no one renting the parking lot. Right. So I asked her, I was like, would you be willing to do an event here? And I'll offer you a split so at least you can make a day's worth of money. Yeah. And that was our formula. And then we ended up doing 5-6 events. And then they were successful, meaning like people attended, and we try to conduct it the most ethical way possible. Yeah. 6-foot distancing, all the above. Like,
so people that don't know what Culture Night Market, we got to dive into that.
Sure,
One, where did that idea come from? But two, it was basically a pop-up on steroids. It was one of the first pop-ups, if not it was the first legit properly organized pop up because you did it the right way.
I was the guinea pig.
You did it the right way, and you paid your dues to the point where you mastered it, and then all the bootlegs and all the other ones started popping up. Which cool, but at the same time, if we want to have fair competition, it's got to be fair.
Yes,
agreed. So I think that's what it goes down to. So Culture Night Market was truly an organized, legal pop-up.
Yeah.
Pop-up with multiple vendors. So
how I like to define Culture Night Market, I say Culture Night Market activates public streets and landmarks to celebrate culture through art, vendor, and food. That's my mission statement. I kind of worked on that. But so that's what we
sounded
do.
really scripted there, bro.
So we've activated, that parking lot. And we were forced to, just so you're aware, because I don't want to lie on the camera. Yeah. The first 4 or 5 were not done fully compliant.
Yeah, whatever, man.
But that got us in the door.
Nobody was compliant. So in the beginning,
exactly. And then I ended up getting reached out by the city of San Jose saying like, hey, if you continue this, we're gonna fine you for X, Y, and Z. And I thought to myself, wow, the community loves this, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that's gonna take the hit for this. Right. So I stopped doing it. 6 months go by. I started seeing all these pop-ups happen and no one's regulating it. Yeah. And I started getting like, damn, like, why are you guys hating on me for it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have no issue with the other people, but I was just like, let's keep the same energy with everyone. If it almost feels like you're targeting me. Yeah. And then eventually,
I was incubating one of them Silicon Valley pop-ups.
Yeah. So I eventually find out that, they regulate people that are reported. Yeah. So I was reported, and people were like,
someone has to file a complaint.
And I understand because I was taking their money in a way because they were told not to do events, and here I am doing events. Yeah. So I understood that. So what that motivated me to do was to learn the procedure, like permits, ask questions, and start doing the due diligence. The process. And that whole learning curve was a bitch. That's the shortest way I could put it. It was a bitch because not only it wasn't like the city was like, here is the guidebook to do the event.
Wow.
It's like, no, it's like you have to literally do it. And then in the process, you realize you missed some things and they correct you.
Right.
And while you're correcting you, you're taking notes.
Yeah.
So I'm creating my guidebook through the 2 years.
Damn.
Now I figured it out. I have a blueprint, but there was a time where I didn't know, we had to have inspections for food trucks. I didn't know we had to have a safety plan. I didn't know we had to have a private property permit. I didn't know like all these things. And the average person didn't know it.
Well, because nobody was doing it consistently to where
like it was necessary.
Yeah.
Like, and even for the ones that were doing it consistently with the city compliant wise, they were doing it on like either a bi-monthly or a quarterly basis. Like we weren't doing any, there was not events that were doing it every weekend like that. Yeah. That's more of a newer concept if you think about it post-COVID. So yeah, fast forward to 2023, let's just go there. So we did all the events legally from that point.
How many events have you done now so far that you've...
So year to date, I would say 100 and a little under 150.
Okay.
And that's at, downtown San Jose, east side San Jose, street closures, parking lots at Eastridge Mall, Oak Ridge Mall. We did PayPal Park. We even did Salinas. We did something in Redwood City. So it's grown. But I think the whole purpose of why we did a Culture Night Market was simple. It was to help existing entrepreneurs, micro entrepreneurs, to have a legitimate platform to get an opportunity to make money. Yeah. Because when I started as a vendor, like I used to sell clothing with Emlin in early days. When I came to San Jose to do events, I was pushed away from different organizers because they thought the urban culture I was promoting at the time wasn't a fit, at least for their art. Right. Because art is subjective. Art could be like, urban culture, graffiti could be art, canvas, painting. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like all that is art.
Everything is art.
But in my opinion,
this podcast is an art.
Yeah, exactly. It was under the umbrella, in my opinion, but at the time it wasn't. So what did that force me to do? It forced me to start selling in Oakland, in San Francisco. Yeah. And then I started learning how they programmed their events with culture and how it wasn't like looked and frowned upon. Because San Jose, like let's keep it 100. There was a time period where they weren't letting hip hop acts and do certain things. Yeah, like, they're gonna shoot up the club, like all that stuff. But we were one of the first use cases of like having hip hop on the street for free and like having a safe environment, no fights, everything was peaceful. Yeah. And even till this day, knock on wood, like we haven't had any issue like that, thankfully. But what am I getting at? Like now my goal with Culture Night Market is to maintain a tradition, keep it going.
It's now what, 3 years? 3 years?
It's I think it's 4 years.
4 years, celebrating 4 years.
4 years, yeah. And my goal with it is just to have at least 5 to 10 events at landmarks somewhere in San Jose and just keep them annually every year. Yeah. That isn't my prime revenue of income like it was at a time, but now I have rebranded Emlin as an agency. So my agency specializes in event production, media production, brand strategy, website graphic design. So any services that a corporation or a city government or a nonprofit would need, like we can facilitate all that. And I think the value with the agency really is like, I know how to streamline events. Yeah. Meaning like, there's tons of people, corporations that want an event and they try to get their intern or someone in their staff to do it. And then that never works out because they have someone that's doing 4 or 5 things. You need someone that's focused and knows every detail. That's right. And that's what I specialize in. That's right. So now I've repositioned my agency to be like, because I used to be known as the Culture Night Market vendor guy, right? Hey, go to Culture Night Market, got vendors. Like, I think that was cool. I respected that they respected me, and I appreciated that. But that's not who I am. Right. I'm an entrepreneur. I know how to put everything together and make it manifest.
I know the feeling now. So back in 2014, I ran for city council for downtown San Jose, and one of the other candidates was going around telling the neighbors, like, you don't want to elect the club guy. I was like, fuck. The club guy. He goes, you don't want that nightclub guy running the city. And I was like, wait a minute, this motherfucker's around telling everyone I'm the club guy? So I literally, as I was walking, and he must have walked the day before on the streets that I was walking on. I had to tell people, I'm like, I own a nightclub. Yeah. I'm not the nightclub guy though. Exactly. I'm a businessman. So I have to really reposition and give a different perspective or a different perception of me because fuck, I mean, it was like, the club guy. No.
It's limiting in a way, you know. Like, and we know that's not our limit, but the perception of that could be limiting.
I got myself dialed in. I'm a Silicon Valley global entrepreneur because I'm doing global business now. I got different countries now, so I'm global now. You know, so I'm like, hey, you guys want to go to Mexico? You guys want to go to Peru? Want to go to El Salvador? I want to go to Spain. We're good. We're in.
I'm trying to go to Spain, man. What's up? Yeah, I think so. Me like identifying that helped me, make the changes I needed to make. Because last year in 2023, when we were doing Feast Mode and the county fair, those were like my first actual clients where I was like, I was hired to do a service. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like presented that at first. It was more like, hey, we can do this, that, and we can help with that. And then we cultivated that end product. But I realized I just created a brand from scratch and I streamlined that whole process.
Yeah.
That should have a price tag, for every client.
Yeah.
So now that's been my approach. That's what I do now.
Yeah.
So
you're refining your business model, right?
Exactly.
And you can only refine it as you keep practicing, right? I mean, it's no different than when you work Monday through Friday or you work weekends or you work once a month on these events. The more practice you get, the better you become. It's like I always tell people, my first year I'm going to make all the mistakes that I can possibly, because I don't know any better.
Yeah.
The second year I'm not going to repeat what I did the first year.
Yeah.
But I got new problems.
Yeah.
And then by the third year, normally if you can make it to the third year, you're onto something. And on the third year, you're not repeating what you did on the second or the first year. So now you got a system.
Yep.
And once you start implementing a system, then things start to turn around.
That's where I'm at right now. I feel like I'm critiquing the system, making the small tweaks for big result. And now that I made that adjustment, I feel like this year I put myself in a better position to like now operate events with budgets and not having to start from a negative perspective, like starting to put my own money into
underfunded.
Because the first 2.5 years, all my events were funded by myself. Like I funded all of it, and it was a break-even situation every time. Like,
and then you start thinking about how much time you've invested,
and then the time. Like I'm not even
time,
counting
energy,
time.
Time,
like,
energy,
I just work.
and money.
I'm doing labor. I'm doing marketing. I'm doing consulting, and I'm like, I'm not even questioning it. I'm just doing it because that's why I think entrepreneurship is, which in reality, in the beginning, that's what it is. Let's not lie. It's what it is. But the goal is to get to a point where you can delegate and allocate and you can be in a position where you're just consulting. And that's what I feel like I'm striving to get to.
Let me ask you a question. Would you ever get a job?
Man, I feel like I haven't had a job for 3 years now, but I'm not gonna disrespect the job because if I needed it, I would get a job. And especially if it's something I know I'm good at, like if it's effortless, like sales, I'll take a part time.
Yeah,
fuck it, why not? Especially right now, it's not event season. Like, it's like I'll take advantage of it.
It was funny. I thought that maybe once or twice in my lifetime. I mean, I started my journey at 15, man, and I remember when I first got a job, I was like, what the, like, I was a server, bro. I was like, whoa. Oh, man. And that's the worst, tough. Bro. That was like, some people in the area that I was a high-end area, and people were so disrespectful. I mean, like, I was like, really? Like,
I ain't gonna tolerate this shit. Do you know who I am outside of here? No, I feel you. I think, so this is a thing it's important to talk about too, is like, we all have egos, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have an ego. Like, there's a certain part of me that's like, there's things I'm willing to do and not willing to do.
Right.
But I think being able to identify like what really matters versus what doesn't. Like there was a part of me that wouldn't get a job because I didn't want people to see me and being like, oh shit, he works a job. That means his business ain't doing good. Oof. Right? Like there's that natural reaction.
That's that ego, bro.
That's the ego, right?
But
then once you're able to identify that, then you can kind of check yourself. Be like, bro, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks.
That's right.
At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. Someone's going to watch as a council member, someone.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I focus on the end result. What am I able to produce? Can I give you results? I am results driven. I am a professional.
That's right.
You feel me?
The biggest flex is when you don't give a fuck what anybody thinks or says, period. Because when we get, and it's happened to me.
Yeah.
It's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
When we get caught up in that rabbit hole of what people are thinking or saying, bro, we can't control that shit.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I actually welcome it because it reminds me of the shit that I'm like, yeah, motherfuckers, well, while you guys are over there trying, I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I had this big conversation with someone that's no longer in my life.
Yeah.
Thank God I dodged the bullet on that one.
Yeah.
But we had that conversation. It's like, well, while you're trying, I'm doing because I'm set.
Yep.
And there's a big difference between trying and doing.
Yeah.
I know what direction I'm going.
Yeah.
I know what I want. I'm not trying to get there. I'm going there.
Yeah.
Period. And that just means because I'm very laser focused on what I want to do. The studio that we build, the drive behind every episode that we put together, it takes time, energy, and money.
Yeah.
And it takes and you got to be able to continuously be creative and be able to just be creative.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of energy in that. So you gotta do it. You can't be trying. You can't. I mean, you can try certain things like. There's little things here and there that will start popping off, and we'll start doing like, oh, cool, we added this, we added that. But that's just like anything else in life, bro. You gotta just start.
Yeah,
just gotta start and just go and run and fucking. They always you always hear these sayings, fail forward, or you're gonna fail before you hit success, and all that. Life is about learning.
Exactly, forever.
It's about I'm a learning machine, just like you said earlier. You're like you're continuously learning. I'm a learning machine. Every day I want to learn something new.
Yes.
If not, then I'm just gonna. What's our purpose?
I agree.
What's our purpose, man? It's just crazy, man. So
I think to like taking it back to like the brands and stuff. I wanted to just. I think this is a platform, is a great opportunity to kind of share because like I said, I haven't been doing content. I'm a little rusty right now, but. So with Culture Night Market, like I said, I want to keep that annual tradition, activating the public spaces for the community, small businesses, and also just bring vibrancy, right? That's our new favorite buzzword right there, vibrancy, to the areas that we impact. And then also with Emlin, our agency, like one thing with Emlin that I like to emphasize on is that I like to look at it like Lamborghini. Lamborghini started off with what? This
tractors.
Yeah. Now they're
people
cars.
People don't know that they were tractors.
When I started Emlin, I was selling urban fashion. I was buying brands wholesale and flipping it. I dropped out of college and I started doing pop-ups on the college I went to school at, and I made 4 bands a month selling clothing.
There you go.
And then eventually I learned how to make money.
Making more money.
Yeah, making more money. Some of the damn teachers.
Some of the teachers.
I was like figuring it out. Like at the end of the day, we're all going to school to get money.
That's right.
So I think. In my thought process at the time, and this is no disrespect to anyone I know or love or anything, but I just thought the logic was not there. Like, I'm like, wait, so I'm going to go 4 years to get debt and then get a job paying the debt. And then I'm going to end up like maybe not even liking the job I'm working at. So I just thought about that alone, right? And then, I was at an age where I didn't really know my career path. Everyone's always recommended as a what's it called? Not the best academic achiever. What's the major they always tell you to do?
Fucking doctor, engineer, or lawyer, or
no, communications.
Communication.
Like that's the thing they always say. Like if you're not a good student, but we want you to graduate, do communications. That's the degree that'll work for you. But to me, that was like
that's an art.
Let's
like
just
an
get
arts.
What job does that get you, bro?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And so my thought process was like
liberal arts.
Like the same amount of time I'll spend in school, I can do that building a business and just treat it like school.
What you just said resonated so much with me. I did 4 years at San Jose State. On my 4th year, literally my graduating year, I took all my upper divisions. And I just one day just walked in and just said, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. It was a decision.
It was a decision.
It was a decision.
It was the beginning of in the inspiration to my book, Decide, Commit, Execute. I made a decision. I committed to it and I executed and I was done.
Yeah.
And I remember, and like you said, I was in debt. Not a lot during that time, but when you don't have the money and you're and like why am I paying for this education? Why am I paying? No, it was just off the charts, man. I was like, I'm in debt, I'm not happy, and I'm not doing what the fuck I want. I jumped, man, and I said, I'm going all in.
Yeah.
With nightlife, and that became my complete focus.
Yeah.
And once I did that, I never looked back. I never looked back.
That's the beautiful thing about making a decision, how just life starts to make more sense. Because a lot of the times when we're in that stage where we're just trying to figure out what we want to do, like a lot of the things are giving us all the reasons not to do it. But the moment you make a decision, I mean, at least for me personally, I've had instances where it's not always the case. But when you make a decision like that, like that life changing type of decision, shit just makes sense. And I feel like it made sense for me at the time. But yeah, so I just wanted to clarify the agency thing. And the other thought I had when I was doing entrepreneurship was like, okay, I'm a big fan of sports. I played football my whole life. I try to go to the U, you know what I'm saying? I played alongside my boy Cheeto Bay Woozier, shout out to Cheeto, on the Titans right now. And then also, I was a big fan of fashion and I love hip hop. Like these things kind of cultivated my personality and everything. And there was a part of me that like wanted to get in the industry. Like, how can I get in the industry? And then I always thought about it like, I don't want to be a rapper. Like that was the most common thing everyone was pursuing, being a rapper or trying to be in professional sports or go career, you know, college route. Those are the three things that was common in my neighborhood and where I grew up. But I felt like I was the only one that thought about being the business owner in the industry.
There you go.
I was like, I don't have to be the artist. I can find a way to make the income for the artist.
Yeah.
So that was like my thought process.
Yeah, you're the executive producer. You want to you want to be the guy that's making the decisions.
And that is ultimately what led for us to start Any Given Bars. You know, Jay Wells and Monk, my partners for the project.
That's right.
That's a platform we created during COVID as well. People don't know that.
That's a podcast.
It's actually a hip hop show.
Okay.
So I would call it a hip hop show because it's a showcase. Like artists get to perform and, you know, showcase either existing music or freestyle. At the end of the day, it's an opportunity for them to showcase who they are to a new audience. And then at the end of the showcase, there's an interview segment. And I look at like Rap Radar, I look at like Sway in the Morning, I look at like Hot 97.
I love Sway,
These are all different platforms that are, you know, technically under a label umbrella.
Yeah.
So my philosophy alongside my partners with Monk and Jay was like, bro, we have a hip hop scene that people don't know about. It's not predominantly known about, but there's a lot of history here.
Oh yeah.
You know, Tracks a Million, you know what I'm saying? E40 used to come down here. You know, there's a bunch of nightlife.
Fucking Tupac.
Yeah, there's like all types of stuff people don't know about. And it doesn't get highlighted enough. And I understand it's not our main bread and butter, but I think there's still a community for it. And maybe that this doesn't have to be like the #1 show. It could still be top 25 and it could be your landmark for when someone's touring. Hey, I need to highlight my music coming up, my show coming up.
Yeah.
Let me stop by Any Given Bars to you know, highlight my stuff as a mainstream artist.
Nice.
So going back to what I said about my thought process of keeping within that industry, that is my way of doing it. And eventually at some point in time, I predict Any Given Bars might overproduce what Culture Night Market and Emlin are doing now.
Wow.
Because of how I understand how brand deals work and endorsements. Like there is so much opportunity there, but I view it as like, this isn't my bread and butter right now though.
One of the things that I'm working on, and I think I've shared this with you. So I just cut a deal. We're bringing Hoop It Up back to San Jose, and we're actually branding it. It's Slam Jose, right? Kind of the whole, it's got a pretty badass logo. We got, it's powered, you know, all the infrastructure is going to come from Hoop It Up because I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. I'm trying to do something that's already been working for 30 years. Kevin Garnett is the owner and founder of that company. So we got him.
Legend.
And not only that, but I love sports too. I mean, I talk about as a kid, I played football, track, baseball, soccer, water polo, fucking dude, I was so off the hook that I even played badminton, bro. That's how badass I was.
On that, man. I was to go hard and PE that one.
And I had a dream that either I was gonna play football or play baseball. And baseball was one of my favorites, and as I started to create that illusion in my head that I'm like, fuck, I'm competing against these guys. They're putting in the work. I'm putting in the work, but I'd rather go. I took a detour and I went into the nightlife scene at a very young age, and I was like, do I go make money now? Or do I take a chance and go do this and blah, blah, blah. And I remember I got hit a couple of times. I had busted my chin. I did and I was like, dude, I don't want to get hurt, man. I'm like, I got to protect this face, bro. I'm like, back when I was a kid, you know, that modeling shit.
Man.
But no. It was, I still, one of my biggest things is I want to own a professional team here in the Bay Area of some kind, you know, put a group of, Latino business owners or what, and a group of everybody, right? But I want it to be driven by Latinos, and I want us to own and operate some kind of professional team. I'm close right now. I'm working with the big three, trying to, you know, still arm wrestle. We're gonna see how their season comes out this year, but they're selling franchises now to different cities.
Oh, nice.
So I last couple of months, we were working on a deal to bring one to San Jose or to the Bay, but have them play here in San Jose.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of other things that are happening, but those are the kind of things that as I'm listening to you, I'm like, man, I got to definitely incorporate you on what I'm doing, even as an advisor, man, because when you get into that level, man, you need a team.
Oh, for sure.
There is a decision maker, but you need a team, and you need to get knowledge from everybody in order to make that team win.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's one of the things that we've had in common is because we come from sports.
Yeah.
We know how to build and work with a team.
Yeah.
Versus working solo. One of the things that I have found is that I can't work. I can work by myself, like in my zone.
Yeah.
But I can't. I gotta have juices flowing. I gotta have energy around me, right?
Yeah.
Fuck. What do? Talk to yourself. You start asking yourself questions. Hey, bro.
You start answering your questions.
Yeah. It for me, I've seen my productivity explode when I'm around other great minds, other great thinkers. That think alike. And then that's just how things go, man. So no, definitely.
That's exciting, man. Let me know. There's support.
There's a lot of different things that that are coming up here in the downtown core. I mean, there's again, you talk about vibrancy. So when is there a season kickoff?
So let's see. So I have my first event. I'm helping out ICA with an art exhibit. So it's gonna be like a mesh of a culture night market art exhibit on March 22nd. It's gonna be on Pueblo Terrace. I don't have dates, but I have I have details. Culture Night Market will be on Alum Rock this year again. We'll be on Story and White. There's something in Historic. Also, Feast Mode, looking to bring that in downtown. I'm actually trying to do 2 sport events, actually. I'm doing futsal tournament. I did it last year, but this year I'm going to do 2 of them because they were pretty successful. Like, a lot of people came, and it was fun. We got the Earthquakes to sponsor something, so it had a good energy. And then a flag football tournament.
Okay.
And I'm pushing that because my background's in football. Like I told you, like I had a lot of experience playing. And flag football just got into the Olympics, the next Olympics. Yeah.
What?
So it's a new sport in the Olympics, and flag football is only evolving. Now that
I don't know how that's like an Olympic sport though, bro. I'm like,
I don't know.
Hey, just like breakdancing. I don't know how that breakdancing shit.
I just remember the Australian girl who was like sitting down the other way. But not with flag football. I've been paying attention. Like it's growing, it's evolving.
Yeah.
And like there's this girl who's like really famous right now because she's a part of the Mexico flag football team.
Okay.
And the NFL brings her to all the events, and she's like campaigning for flag football because I think the NFL is going to have a division for it at some point in time.
Yeah.
So I want to do one at Discovery Meadow and St. James Park.
Nice. Okay.
I've already supported other like flag football entities, so I'm trying to collaborate with people that are already doing it.
Yeah, you gotta
just something that works. So I don't want to try to do everything from the scratch.
I'm gonna do pickleball downtown, bro. I'm gonna do pickleball.
Pickleball is actually popular too, though.
Hey, I'll tell you right now. I already know. So I don't know if you've heard, but where Boatown was at right here, down the street.
Oh, they're making a court there.
They leveled it, right? Because they're not building anything there yet for a while.
Yeah.
So from what I hear from the good sources, is they're going to put pickleball courts there.
Wow.
So I'm like, we're having a downtown San Jose pickleball tournament.
That's wild.
And
it'll be dope though, because there is a whole community for that.
Oh man,
did you see what they did with the old fries?
Bro, that's a cult,
bro.
Dude, that thing is off the hook. And you walk in and it's like,
I walk in there like.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
And they take it serious. They're like some serious play. No, I'm like, wait a minute, guys.
It's all the people past their prime where they can only move like a couple feet away and shit, No, it's really, you can tell it's picking up though. That'd be cool though. Yeah, that'd be cool. So yeah, I'm trying to dabble with that, and then
Feast Mode, bro. By the way, Feast Mode was probably one of my favorite brands of yours. Just because I get it, right? I think that you dial that formula a little bit more, and I think that with the right partnership, that thing
it's got potential. Trying to make some wiggle. It's just it's really hard to just get sponsors and try to get certain people to back things. There's just a lot of things happening in San Jose, and it's one thing about the landscape in San Jose is like there's 2 types of people. There's people that are willing to collaborate and willing to like, let's put aside the differences, let's make some impact, let's do some change. And you got some people that are just sharks, and they're just trying to infiltrate or maybe just find out what you're doing and say they support you but don't support. At the end of the day, I pay attention to action. Like, what are we actually trying to do? Because if we've been trying to collaborate for the last 3 years but we haven't done shit, to me that tells me like we don't really have a common goal, which is like bring the vibrancy to downtown and make the impact. But people care more about credit than actual impact.
Yes, I'm gonna have to agree, and I think that what happens is ego again kicks in.
Yeah, it's the ego stuff,
and or the experience. You know, for me, I'm a lot wiser. I'm older than a lot of the young producers that are out there because I also started at a young age. Even though I'm still in a good age bracket, I've learned and I've been exposed to a lot of experiences that I don't think with my ego. I think with my wisdom now. You know, so when I know that, hey, dude, if you keep going down that path. You're going to hit that brick wall, or you're going to climb up that ladder and you're going to realize you got to the top, but you're like, wait, I'm on the fucking wrong wall. But now you got to go all the way back down and move the ladder, and then you got to climb back up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to save people the time, energy, and save them money if they just listen. And sometimes I had this meeting with one of my guys yesterday. I'm like, hey, bro, the problem with you is that you don't utilize me as much as you should. I said, I'm your Swiss Army knife, and you're not utilizing me. I said, but that's cool. Keep bumping into the walls and keep doing what you're doing. You're going to get the same results that you're getting now.
Yeah.
If you just tweak it a little bit, we could exponentially grow. I mean, there's a lot of things, again, when you talk about collaborations, right? We got to stay. I got to stay always in creative mind, right? I have to stay engaged in creative mindset. Why? Because, like, for example, the studio. One show is not going to pay the bills. One show is not going to carry the whole. I mean, unless this thing, which I believe in my heart of hearts, this thing is going to blow up. It's blowing. We're going to hit 42,000 in the next 30 days. My goal is to, by summertime, to hit 100,000 subscribers and then be at a whole different level.
Yeah,
but
they'll be different.
But collaborating with other influencers, other people that can come in here and take on. I mean, this studio is beautiful. It's been designed well, and it can have different scenes. So our idea is, let's create some other content to invest in ourselves.
Yeah, I would like to do a podcast in here one time.
Yeah, man. Hey, we can do definitely do a collaboration. I mean, all we're doing right now is as we're building our brand,
especially as a team, right? Like
that's right.
It's rising tide raises all ships.
I love that saying. That is probably one of my favorite. When I hear that, it is a constant reminder, and a true reminder that you're right. Rising tides lifts all boats. You know, and when you have when everybody wins, everybody wins.
Yeah, literally.
And it's a great feeling because you don't leave anyone behind. Now everybody's gonna have to. Everyone has to want to go in the same direction,
everyone has to
too.
be willing to learn.
I always tell people, I'm not here to try to fix anybody or try to give you my energy that you don't. If you don't want it, I'm cool.
Yeah,
I'm cool because what I don't want to do is waste any more energy. I've done a lot of that. I've invested. I've gone to the point where I poured so much into somebody else that I lost all of my powers. And I'm like, and I was just juiceless.
Yeah.
Now I'm like. Now that I've gone through that experience, I'm like, oof, okay, a little bit more cautious.
Yeah.
The pretty face, this nice smile, the sweet little voice, or the guy that comes in and tries to, impress. Cool. All right.
Sounds good, but
it all sounds good. Here's my book. Read it if you still.
Here's a book. Let's tap in.
If you still want to do business with me, we could tap into it. So, future. What's the future looking like?
So, just thinking about what's coming to San Jose. I mean, we got the Super Bowl coming up at the end of the year in February next year. That's going to be really exciting.
Got World Cup coming.
I'm just really, I want to express just how much, and I think you and I share this, but like I love San Jose, man.
Yeah.
I love our city so much. Like I am very passionate about San Jose. Anytime I go to Vegas or I go to another city, I'm like San Jose, South San Jose. Like I'm just letting people know San Jose. Like
I flip it. I go, I'm from Silicon Valley. I got to sound bougie and shit, bro.
I like I'll code switch in the right environment. Silicon
there you
Valley.
Go.
I live in San Jose, but we're in the Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And I just think there's something that's very unique here that could change the world.
Yes.
And I know that sounds very cliche.
It's the truth.
But it's the truth. We can change the whole world. I think the whole momentum that the All-Star just really amplified that idea even more because I saw all the attention. And one of the posts I saw circulate the most that no one really talked about was like, Bay Area, good job. Nobody got robbed. Nobody got this. Nobody got killed.
Yeah, there was people talking shit, man.
And it was just, there were,
I was crazy. Like all the celebrities.
There's parodies, they're talking shit.
And I'm just like, why put out that negative energy? Like, oh, if you go to the Bay, you're gonna get robbed. Like, what the fuck?
Those are the regular haters that exist in everywhere, right? Because there's gonna be haters.
Gotta
everywhere.
love haters, bro.
I love haters. Part of the equation.
I love haters.
But I really like the trajectory that San Jose is going, and I think if we stay on this path, it could be so abundant for everyone.
Yes.
And everyone, like you and I, like all our peers that are applying so much pressure, we're gonna be in a different position, and we are gonna be able to make more impact, more impact in ways that we don't even imagine. Like my friend Troy, shout out to Troy. He's known me since 2016. Well, he's known me since high school, but we started working on business together in 2016. And before I had the studio, I had a garage, and my studio was in the garage. Yeah. And he told me, everyone that doubted BQ at this time, or everyone that even the ones that believed in him, did not foresee what is happening now. Yeah. But it doesn't surprise me because of what I know he's able and capable of doing. Yeah. As far as work ethic and determination.
That's right.
And that's how I feel right now, thinking further ahead. I'm if we went from that to this, imagine what will be from here to there in a span of 3-5 years. Yeah. It's just, I think it's just we have to speak to existence. We have to stand strong on our beliefs and what we want to, pride ourselves. I think at the end of the day, me being born and raised and being a true San Jose, what I'm saying, I don't say native because I know there's a, older culture, indigenous culture, but I'm just saying I'm born and raised in San Jose, and I know that we don't have to, change how we are and what we believe our culture represents to be successful. Yeah. You can still be you and be successful.
I think, I always tell people, I'm not from San Jose, but I love San Jose. I've been here pretty much a majority of my lifetime.
You've been here forever, man. You're San Jose.
I'm San Jose. No, I am, and I carry it. But then I throw a little spice in there. I'm like, well, I was born in San Francisco, right? I got a code switch, right? I was born in San Francisco, raised in Los Angeles, and educated in Silicon Valley.
That's just your flex, man. It means you're vast. You connected. That just means you connected.
And I do. I call it the trifecta, bro. I'm like, hey, I hit the trifecta. I'm like, it is what it is. Yeah. God had a plan for me, and I'm here, and I'm here to make an impact. I have big dreams, big goals, and in order to accomplish those, you got to have strong work ethic. And that's something that, again, I admire a lot about you, and why I know that it's just a matter of time. Time will determine the level of success as long as you continue to press and forge ahead, because whoever puts in the work is going to get the results, but you got to put in the work.
I agree.
Everyone says, again, everyone talks about it, but they're not doing it. They're just talking about it. They've gotten, and I catch myself sometimes. I'm like a little too stuck on social media. I'm like, because I'm reading so much great, at least the stuff that the algorithm's fucking with me. Is because I'm only reading things that I want to read. I don't all that other noise. I learned something from Gary Vee. Gary Vee was amazing. He says, go on the where you start disliking things, or you start removing them. Yeah. He goes, the algorithm will start changing, and then he goes, watching the next couple of days how things just start popping up, and I'm like, so I've learned that, so I'm consciously doing that. So
all the positive stuff.
Yeah, bro. I'm just motivation. There's just too much stupidity out there right now.
No, it really is.
And right now, what I want to do is the next 3 years, because I'm going to give it to myself in 3 years. By 2028, I'm gonna own with a team. We're gonna own a basketball team. And basketball, right? I'm kind of manifesting that. I'm going to be a part of the Hoop It Up. That brand has been already offered to me too. I'm like, okay, maybe I take part in that. I don't know what I don't know, but I need to learn where I'm going and what I'm going to do. So it's a journey, man. Success is not a destination. Success is a journey, and every day we learn something new. Yeah. So I'm excited, man, and I'm excited for you. So
I appreciate that, man.
Couple of things, and we're gonna wrap it up. Words of inspiration. Either they can be to the people that are out there, and anybody. I mean, what would be your words of encouragement, man, for others that desire to. That are grinding, right? I mean, whether they're grinding at a job or they're grinding on their business. Yeah. What's the motivation, man?
I'll give them a few things. Yeah. I'll start. I might be speaking to different people, but the only real failure in life.
Sorry, bro, we didn't have no more water for you.
Oh, so I'm all dehydrated. No, I was gonna say.
We're gonna put in a complaint already to them.
You have one on deck right here. The only real failure in life is the failure to try. And I think that one is one of my first quotes that I always stuck by, because a lot of the times we fail in our mind before we fail in reality. Like we just imagine the failure before we even try.
Damn.
And I used to be that person, and I know someone might relate to that. That's one.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that right now. That's why it's fire.
Two, everyone in life is going through something, and they're going through their own challenges, their own battles.
That's right.
So try to remember that it's not all about you. And like there's a whole world out there that's literally chasing the same thing you're chasing. Maybe it's family, maybe it's foundation, maybe it's just a house. At the end of the day, we're all striving for something similar. So don't think you're bigger than anyone else. Like everyone is literally,
That's fucking deep, bro.
everyone
right
is literally like dealing with the same level of stress and scarcity and fear,
uncertainty right now.
uncertainty.
But that's always been and as we've gotten older and wiser, again, it's always been consistent. There's always going to be a level of uncertainty and inconsistencies in life, but that's what makes us. That's what gives us growth, and that's how we evolve into other things and we create.
I agree.
The iPhone wasn't around 20 years ago. The iPhone now, the version of an iPhone is the equivalent of a supercomputer back then is now in your hand.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
literally.
just it is crazy.
Literally,
the amount. I mean, from it's we have to continuously be open minded to evolve. So keep going, man. Another nugget. I
just had to share that specific bit because I recently was dealing with some pretty challenge, like some really complicated challenges to the point where it's like I rarely get in situations where I don't know what's gonna happen. I've taken some crazy risk, and I'm a little more what's that word? I'm a little more willing to go further with the risk than the average person. Like risk my apartment and risk my livelihood. Like I've gotten to a few instances like that, but I think on the other side of it, man, it's just at the end of the day, man, it's always temporary. Pain lasts a day, it could last a month, it could last a year, but eventually it will subside.
It will subside.
It'll be over, and then you'll be in a different state of mind. You'll be in a peaceful state of mind because you have actually gotten closer to what you're trying to achieve. Because what I felt 2-3 weeks ago, I couldn't have this podcast with you, bro. I couldn't have it. I wouldn't be in the right headspace.
It's great, but. So let me give you words of advice. You got to power through that shit.
Exactly.
You got to power through it. You trust me when I'm telling you right now, the last 8 months of my life, fucking starting from November 1st, it was till just recently. It has been literally 90 days, bro. Like just to say, give it 90 days. In 90 days, the amount of shit that I've had to endure. Has only sharpened me up, dude. We're to the point now where I'm at peace with myself, and that's probably the most dangerous place to have me at is when I'm at peace. Because when I'm at peace now, my clarity and my focus,
sharp.
Fuck, dude, that's it.
Razor.
So, and what I'm realizing today now as I move forward is that I never want to ever let my guard down or let myself go down that rabbit hole. And I say it best. One of my good friends, she says it to me. She goes, Mauricio, you cannot be an eagle and go swim with ducks.
Damn.
You got to let the ducks be in the duck pond. And that's where they belong. He goes, and eagles, if you see eagles, they're not too, they're very rare. And that mindset just reminded me of those are the qualities of the people that I want to be around, that mindset, So, and there's plenty of eagles out there. You just got to find them. They're rare. And you're one of them, man. And that's what I'm saying. You're flying and doing things while everybody's talking and wanting to do things. So,
and I think that's the cool thing about like just being in proximity to you and being in proximity to my other mentors and like those, we all have people in the back of our heads that we know that we can like contact and have this conversation with, because not everyone is working on that same frequency, you know? Because it's almost, and I'm pretty sure you've been in a situation where you might share this with someone and they think you're flexing or they think you're bragging about stuff, but you're really just talking about what you're doing.
You're sharing, man. You're sharing, sharing life, man.
I agree with you on that, man. So last thing I'll say is it ain't exclusive. It ain't Emlin exclusive. I just had to make sure My slogan was out there.
If people want to reach out to you, they can find you on your social media handles.
Yes, they can follow my Instagram at YoSoyBQ, one word. My website's emlinexclusive.com.
And for the white folks out there, that's IMBQ. Translated, Yo Soy BQ. I'm
in
kidding.
Spanish.
I shouldn't have said white people. To all the non-Spanish speakers, fucking, let me correct myself before I get that one fucking
canceled, bro.
Yeah, I want to get that one fucking hater talking about like, hey, why are you talking shit about white people? I love white people, bro.
Hey, come on, man. We love everyone out here, man.
So, but man, thank you again for taking the time coming out, sharing your life experiences. You know that you got my support on everything that you're gonna do. Whatever I can do, as long as you ask me, hey, I need some support, great. Don't ever assume, right? I always tell people, did you fucking ask me for help? No, but I thought, that's the problem. You thought, so count me in on whatever projects you got coming up, and if I can support and add value to you, man, brother, you got nothing but support and love from us over here.
Thank you, man. So, likewise, and I appreciate you having me on here. I'm honored.
No, thank you. All right, guys, we are wrapping it up. Mauricio Mejia live with our boy BQ. Thank you, BQ. Let's make it happen, brother. Let's make it happen.
Like, comment, subscribe. Mauricio Mejia live on YouTube.